for some interesting footage. That's the first time that that's ever happened to me. I guess I just didn't have the front end of the camper picked up high enough. I don't know, but that right there is exactly why you should always use wheel chocks. If I had had wheel chocks on the camper, it wouldn't have slid back. You guys probably didn't get a super great angle of that. I don't know. I'll have to look at the footage. Maybe you did. I'll see when I'm editing, I guess. But I had my phone set up in a tripod on the side of the, kind of over by the side of the camper, looking at the front of the camper and the truck, you know, and I turned it on, but it only recorded for a minute and a half, and then it stopped, so it missed all of it. I don't know. I just need to get another GoPro, I guess. They seem to be a little bit more reliable than my phone is. But anyway, so when I backed up, I guess the fifth wheel hitch in the truck hit the tongue of the camper there and shoved it backwards a little bit. And anyway, so I went back there and lifted the tongue up a little bit higher, and I hooked the brakes up to the truck, and then I just got in the truck and manually held the brakes on the booster there, so that way the camper couldn't roll anymore, and then I backed up until it latched, and it worked just fine. So I don't know, but lessons learned. I'm glad that it wasn't expensive. Didn't tear nothing up that I'm aware of at this moment anyway. Everything looked all right. So anyway, so we just left Grand Island, Nebraska, and we are headed to Denver, Colorado. We're not going to be there for very long, just a handful of days, about a week, and not really for certain where we're headed to next. I've got some rumors, but I don't necessarily believe it until I'm on the way, because in this line of work, things change at a moment's notice. So I mean, I have literally been halfway into a 15-hour drive before and got a phone call and said, hey, actually, we need you to turn around and go the other way. So it happens, unfortunately. But anyway, so yeah, heading to Denver. Be there for a little while. Hopefully we get to do some sightseeing. We're going to get there a couple of days early. I don't have to be at work until Monday. It is currently Friday. From Grand Island, Nebraska, it's only basically a 5.5 to 6 hour drive, so it's not going to take us real long to get there. We left about just a little after 9 this morning, so we ought to be there in theory probably around 3 or 4. Well, actually they're in mountain time, so they'll be an hour behind us technically, so it'd be 3 or 4 central time, an hour less than that once we get there because of mountain time. But anyway, we'll cross into mountain time somewhere probably in the next couple of hours. Alright, we're at the Love's Travel Stop here in North Platte. Got to stop, get some diesel fuel. Hopefully this is the only time. It's noon now, so we'll get us some lunch, and hopefully we can just make it the rest of the way there. Just got about 3 hours left according to the GPS, so it's only 200 and some miles, so hopefully we'll make it. But anyway, just a little update. Basically halfway. I don't really know if it's halfway, but close enough to halfway anyway. So we're gonna finish filling up, get us some food, and keep on trucking along.
Are you gonna come park me?
I can, or you could. You don't think you could park yourself?
No.
Once you pass these two trucks right here where you're going, get over to the right, into the left. Yeah, there you go, just like that. Okay, now keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Go all the way down here to the end. All right, now turn towards me. Now just start straightening it up, get in line with the parking spots. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. All right, now throw in reverse. Turn the other way, the other way. There you go. Now it's turning the other way. Turn the other way. There you go. Watch out of your driver's side mirror. You see that white line right there on the side of the camper? Driver's side.
Yeah.
There you go. Keep turning that way. Keep backing up. There you go. There you go.
Ah!
Start turning back the other way. Nope, the other way. The other way. There you go. Now keep backing up. You're fine. You're doing good. There you go. Now just keep jockeying it back and forth like that into the spot. You got it. You're doing good. Nothing to it, easy peasy. All right, we're back on the road for the final leg of our journey. We got an hour and 15 minutes left. We just stopped in Brush, Colorado at Love's. I was out of DEF fluid. It actually popped up and said that, you know, you're completely out. You've got X number of miles until we're limiting your speed. So anyway, I would have got DEF last time, but this truck normally tells you whenever you're running out of DEF. It normally says 900 miles until empty. Well, we left that first Love's that we stopped at, and I actually thought about getting DEF, but I didn't because it hadn't said anything about needing DEF, and I knew we only had a couple hundred miles left anyway. Well, then it just, I mean, we hadn't made it but 3 miles down the road from that first Love's that we stopped at. It popped up and said 300 miles is what your DEF range is, and I thought, well, that's plenty to make it, no big deal. And I went, I don't know, maybe 100 miles, maybe, and it just popped up and said, you're out of DEF. You've got X number of miles until we limit your speed. And so I looked on the map, and that Love's there was another 70 miles down the road, and that was within the range that it said I had, although I wasn't exactly very optimistic that it was telling the truth. But I thought, well, we'll try it and see, and we made it. So, but anyway, she's full now. So an hour left of the journey, and we'll be pulling into the campground here. So it's 78 more miles. It says we'll be there at 4:01 p.m. That is Mountain Time. So we'll see you there. Y'all gotta check this place out. This is the nicest campground that I've ever stayed in. We've been doing this for 10 years. Check this place out. We got a little putting green, playground area over there for the kids. View of the mountains in the background behind. Come over here, they've got like a little store in here where you can buy some stuff. The camp store. Over here they've got washer and dryer. They've got 2 washers, 2 dryers. Check this place out. It's nice. This place is essentially brand new. They just opened up. In here they've got shower rooms. I'm not going to take you in there because it's a shower room. There's nobody in there, but still, you know. But they're nice, believe me. I've been in there and checked it out already. Upstairs, let's go upstairs. A little clubhouse here. I already filmed an outro to this video, and then I was like, nah, this place is too nice. We gotta show around, you know. So if you're ever in the Denver area or just north of it, and you need a place to stay in a camper, get a hold of Gopher Gulch Campground. I will try to find a way to leave a link or something. This is a phenomenal campground. But here's the deck. Sorry if the wind is bad. I don't know. Not a whole lot I can do about it at this point in time. But you sit up here on the deck, see the mountains in the background. Our camper site's over here. Show you the deck. It's the view looking from the deck. It's absolutely phenomenal. Come in here. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. They're still doing some work in here. That's why the ladder's here. But more than likely, if you're watching this, by the time you come here, the ladder probably gone. Anyway, bathroom's over here. You can come in here and make you some coffee, but not. And then in here, my favorite part, really, is the playroom for the kids. They really thought of everything. So if you're traveling in a camper, you don't have a whole lot of room for kids, you know, and all their toys and everything like that. So they got them a little area in here with books and a little play area, and they've got blocks and all kinds of stuff for them. And you can sit here if your parents sit here and watch and visit with other people. And go in here in the other room, make some coffee, and it's this is a beautiful place. Anyway, you ought to swing by, check them out, you know, if you're in the area. But anyway, so yeah, this wasn't the original outro to the video. The original one was I stood in front of the camper and was like, hey dude, check out the mountains. This is what we look at whenever we're standing, you know, sitting in the kitchen, which is essentially this view right here. But then I came up here and I was like, yeah, I can't not show this, because these people put a lot of time and effort and thought into this. This is a beautiful campground. So anyway, with that being said, this really will be the end of this video. If you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, please. We need to get them subscriber numbers up. It's going up a little bit, but not, you know, I mean, it's not going to be a fast process, but you know, every little bit helps. If you're seeing this, hit the button. So anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Until next time, peace out.